Look at that. We're back. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Let's fix the light here, guys. 1 second. So sorry. Ah, it's a little dark. Okay. Boom. Here we are. Ho! Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Pack, it's your boy Midnight coming to you live from the Midnight Cinema, leader of Team Alpha Wolf Squadron. And today I am finally going to sit down and review with all of you, beautiful people. Today, Jurassic World Dominion. I saw it last night at AMC theaters. It was a great experience to I don't recall ever seeing a movie in Dolby, but this experience seeing it in Dolby, oh, it was so good. The sound design was great. The screen size, the seat I had. I mean, I was just like right there on D level, okay, and I'm like right in the middle, and I got all this screen right here. I feel like a king upon his throne. It was awesome. Um, Before I get started, I just want to say a few things. Number one, I definitely am annoyed by that AMC commercial with Nicole Kidman. I am getting tired of seeing it. That should be something that should play on TV, and we don't need to keep going through that. Like just get to the movie, okay? 20 minutes of trailers. I counted 10 trailers before the movie started, and that's not even including the extra ads that were involved. So, we there the amount of trailers definitely needs to be reduced down as well. And my second point is critics are not doing this movie justice. And I think part of that is I don't know what they watched. I don't know what they saw, and I don't know how they're comprehending things in their mind. But to me, I thought this was a very, very solid entry into the Jurassic franchise. Because to be completely honest with you, this movie's a ride from start to finish. And I mean, it's fast paced, it's quick. It is 2 hours and 27 minutes, but it just keeps going. It keeps going, and it's quick pace, quick pace, quick pace, quick pace, and it's good. That it does it like that because it is an adventure that we're going on here, and we're getting the culmination of the end of a franchise at this moment in time. So, what am I? How does the movie go? Well, what's the synopsis? What's the movie about? Well, so at this point in time, we're 4 years past the events of Fallen Kingdom, and dinosaurs have broken out of Lockwood Manor. Now they're out into the world. Now there's not that many. Now let's keep that in mind. There's not a lot of dinosaurs to begin with. They didn't put out as many as we would think. Okay, not enough to. I mean, obviously there's enough that could do pretty good damage, but it's not like a gigantic number, like a gigantic population. There's a lot of them, but at the same time, it's like they're scattered everywhere. So it really isn't as many as you would think, if that makes sense. So 4 years passed. What happened with Fallen Kingdom? Breaking out of the Lockwood Manor, dinosaurs are out, and people are learning or trying to adjust and have to figure out how to coexist with them. A lot of people have apparently, died in dinosaur incidents, and it could be as simple as just, seeing an ankylosaur crossing you. You startle it, boom, armored tail hits your car, you're done. You know, and with this we see, so we go from there. They kind of give us that rundown in the beginning, and from there we see Chris Pratt, well, Owen Grady and Claire. They're living on a ranch with Maisie, and they are trying to do their best to keep her safe. Along comes some poachers. They kidnap her. They also kidnap Blue's baby Beta, and that's where our adventure really begins. And then eventually we meet Dr. Grant and Ellie Sattler. They get access to go to Biosyn, which is run now by Lewis Dodson, uh, and he's a major character in the books if you've read them. So they go out to Biosyn. Biosyn's the rival company to InGen, but InGen's been down since John Hammond, and then we had Ms. Ronnie, but that died out. So now you got Biosyn trying to take over as the main genetics company. So what do I think of this movie? How are they going to get them back? What are they going to do? Who are they encountering? Well, to be honest with you, I think that this movie, like I said, it was a very solid entry, and I think that it is a ride from start to finish. It speaks on some very very touching themes that I will get into later. I enjoyed seeing the old cast and the new cast come together. As it was a little brief because it kind of comes a little bit later in the movie, but I didn't mind that because it was working with both stories at the same time, and then it mends it all together, which I thought it was well done. I liked the conflicts that were had. I liked the fact that there was a black market for dinosaurs because it speaks a lot to what's going on in the real world as well. I remember being in having a conversation with Ben Rayner, one of the hosts of Multiverse of Geekdom, and we were talking about Jurassic, and I told him that one of my predictions was that we will see dinosaurs in a fighting ring, and that's something that pops up, and I was like, huh, I knew I called that. If you pay attention to the Camp Cretaceous show on Netflix, you'll see that there are different biomes with biomes. Okay, so they have different biomes like the tundra. You've got the jungles or forest region. You even have, was there a desert? No, just the forest, jungle, and the tundra. Yeah, at that point in time. But in the show, we also see the desert region, but we didn't see this in this movie, which I found pretty interesting. And so they explored that how they have all these different dinosaurs in their different habitats, and you even have Dodson, who's um, pretty much putting up these. You have these locusts that we see in the trailer, right? They're flying through this farm, giant locusts and all. What are they doing? They're causing problems. Well, they're coming from Biosyn, and yes, this is also a spoiler review. Please let that be known. So what happens here is they are pretty much causing a lot of damage to the crops, and they're not eating anything that Biosyn plants. Okay, and so Dodgson is at a point where he just doesn't care. His whole thing is about control. And this is where I think the movie really shines in its themes. You may not be a fan of, the franchise or what have you. You may just want to be there just to see dinosaurs eat people. I'm there for your thematic elements. What ties your story together? What's lying underneath? And I think lying underneath the characters that we have and the journey that we're going on are some deep themes, some philosophical themes that speak to some things that are going on right now in our world, and just things that are timeless. They're endless. It's something that man is always dealing with. It's man versus nature, man wanting to play God, man wanting to rewrite the genetic code for whatever reason man sees in his mind he sees fit to do. And the thing is, these are animals that are past their time. They cannot be controlled, and does not seem to understand that. Dodgson seeks control. That's what he wants, and he cannot contain that. He can't do it. You also get that balance of the fact that, well, you can use genetic power to be a not a let's see, a benefit of human society. Then you also have people who want to be a detriment. It's kind of like the gun debate that's going on. You have people that are responsible, that use their guns responsibly, and then you have those who go out and just kill folks every single day for no reason. That's how it is. That's the world. And that is the world. And it's like, wow, it really speaks volumes at you. It really spoke volumes to me. It's sunk in with me. I loved seeing the dinosaurs. I love seeing the Therizinosaurus. I thought that scene with the Therizinosaurus and Claire was awesome. You could feel the suspense building. Just the long claws. It was so well done. Giganotosaurus. I thought, I was expecting a little bit more time with the Giga, but overall, I was satisfied with it. I love seeing Rexy again. We didn't get a lot of time with her. I thought we would get a lot more time with her. I thought we'd see Blue a little bit more, but because we also are globe trotting through in the movie, you're not going to kind of get that. So primarily, it's in Malta. At one point in the movie, we're in Sierra Nevada. That's in the beginning, and then we get over to Malta, so we're in Italy for a pretty good chunk of time. We're with Biosyn. Um, and I love seeing Dr. Malcolm come back and Jeff Goldblum just bringing it with his one-liners. I thought he was spot on with them. Very funny. I loved the relationship of Ellie and Alan. I thought that there were some scenes with them that could have been just written just a little bit better, but I didn't mind. I didn't mind. I mean, they were. It's almost like they were building towards it for a while anyway. Especially with the first movie, but with this one, they kind of spoke to it a little bit more, and Grant decides, I'm gonna do my best to stick around with this one, and I like that. I liked Maisie Lockwood. Her story I thought was really well done, especially the tie-in with Owen and Claire being now her adoptive parents, and her feeling like she's not real. It's like I was just made in a test tube, but I don't want to. That's not the case. Apparently, like her mom had some genetic, not enhancement, but it's part of her genetic code. When her mom had her, she was just able to have her. I can't like remember off the top of my head, but I thought that that was also well done because simply for the fact that Maisie is of the belief that, like I said, she felt like she was born in the test tube. That wasn't the case though. Her mom had a disease that ended up killing her that she did not inherit. But she was not like made. She was born. She was born. She wasn't scientifically made, scientifically programmed, just this piece of property that Dodgson refers to her as. She is a person. And by the movie's end, she realizes like, okay, I'm a person and I can have my own life, but she was dealing with is this tension with Claire and Owen because she wants to leave the ranch, but she can't because people are coming after her. They want her code, and all they want is her as property. And the thing is, that's something that you notice a lot with these adults in this movie. It's like you care not about this kid, you only care about your own greed and financial gain. So you use this girl, you only call her property, and you no care in the world. This is a child, okay? This is a child. No care in the world whatsoever as long as you get your financial gain. Oh, you're fine. That's how you feel, right? That's how these adults feel. And so the thing is, I think that as I said before, the movie shines deeply with its thematic elements. And it's not like something we haven't seen before because it harks on what made the original so damn good as well. And why do I think the critics are BSing all of you? Well, because of those elements. So let me break it down for you a little bit more. So I know I touched on the balance of things, right? There's also the fact that this is a science fiction film, and and it harks on things that could possibly happen. Could be, just the possibility. The locusts are the plague in a way, killing off everything that they eat, and if they eat everything as far as crops go, then we don't have any. The animals that eat those don't have anything. And so you become this burden on the rest of the world that, well, we can't really deal with this. And that's how people are viewing the dinosaurs. Well, you brought them back. How do we let them, how do we even coexist with them at this point? How do we live with them? Well, I mean, have their own space. They have to have their own space. And that's, by the end of the movie, that's what we see. They have their own biosins destroyed and all, and they just reside there. That's where they are. That's where they stay. And then you have some who broke out there on the world, off doing their own things, coexisting with other animals of their species. And what I also loved, they dove into the further paleontology of things, having the Pyroraptor with feathers, seeing the Therizinosaurus even with feathers. I liked that, I thought the Giga would just be just a little bit bigger. I mean, like at least slightly towering over Rexy. It didn't really, I mean, they're probably about like here, right? But when it comes down to it, obviously the T Rex is the greatest land carnivore to have ever lived. And, I would honestly say that furthermore, as far as themes go, um, just I'm trying to think of how I'm trying to put this for you all. Man does seek this control. Man has this factor of I need to be in everything, and I need to play God in all these different ways. And now Dodson isn't he's not my favorite villain, uh, but he's a good villain in a sense of it's something that we know. It's something that we're familiar with. We all know someone who's just like they're really just hell bent on this one thing, that greed that they want, and they're willing to do whatever they can. He cares not about what else happens in society. He's just like, I got the money to pay for this. We can go ahead and do that. All right, we can go ahead and pay for this. We can go ahead and pay for this, no matter what. And he has to answer to no one because he's just that powerful. Well, no, you got to answer for some of the things that you've done, sir. You've allowed all these creatures to go be let loose in the world, and you care not what's going on. Crops being destroyed. Okay, you have poachers out here. That's another thing. Okay, the poachers, the black market, because in today's time we have a lot of animals that are endangered, that are being killed for no reason, that are on the black market, and that's the message that this movie is also conveying to people. These are things that we have to stop. Okay, because we have to learn to admire nature for what it is and not always feel the need and seek to control it. Okay, admire it for what it is and let it be. Live and let live. That's all. Just live and let live. But you have these poachers who go around, they take these dinosaurs, they sell them off, they're killing them, some of them are cooking them, some of them are just like skinning them and just like having them hanging up and everything. It was rough to see, because you're like, man, what did they do to deserve that? Absolutely nothing. They did not ask to be here. They didn't ask to be here. They did. And so you decide to go out of your way, commit senseless murder, all for your own what? Financial gain. Why? For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. And that's what it is. That's why I love this franchise. That is why I'm gonna have to make a separate video on like deeper as to why I love this franchise and everything. But it's because people never learn and they don't seem to change their ways. And the message here, we have to do something as far as protecting nature and keeping it up as well as we can, not always trying to tear things down. I was just a side note. I was reading something the other day about big businesses trying to go to Montana and build up all these other extra buildings. Why? The American West is beautiful. Let things be. Leave it alone. Let them have their habitats. That's all. That's all. Now, is this better than Fallen Kingdom? Absolutely, by miles. I didn't really care for Fallen Kingdom, to be honest with you. But I think Dominion is. I had a friend of mine text me, and he said that he thinks that this movie is what Snyder's Justice League cut was. And I can't disagree with him. I didn't finish it, but the amount of love for it, Justice League at first was the Justice League itself with Joss Whedon was a terrible movie. But from what I saw with Snyder's cut, I'm like, okay, I'm digging this. I'm digging this movie. Now I sat here, I'm on the edge of my seat, I'm enjoying, I'm taking it all in. Dino action, the fight scenes were well done. I love that ending battle between the T Rex, the Therizinosaurus, and the Giga. I thought that was just spectacular. And you got these two apex, well, yeah, pretty much these two apex predators. They start off, they're going at it, and then Therizinosaurus just walks. It's so damn good. Dodgson's demise was reminiscent of the books because Dr. Wu, in the book, Dr. Wu was killed by a pack of raptors. Okay, and he's another good character in this, and I'll get to that. But in the book, Dr. Wu was killed by a pack of raptors, and it's like he pretty much is dying. It's poetic, and he's dying by his own creation, and it's just the way that it happens. And Dodgson is trapped, and all these Dilophosaurs, they come in, swarm him, and they get him. And I'm like, man, that's poetic justice. And so, what do I like about Dr. Wu? Well, Wu, he's broken. He's feeling the weight of what he's done. He's over here like, man, I've messed up. And he only, when him and Maisie are talking at a point, he only wants to study her to redeem himself. It's not a matter of I want you because I want to keep making money, not that I want to keep advancing my sciences for my own, like intellect or whatever. It is in a way it's in for his intellect, but it's the reason why he wants to do it is to better the world. It's not so much of, Well, I just want to create more theme park monsters. That's what he calls them. And his whole thing is your mom had this genetic code that was way different that allowed her to give birth to you the same way that Blue was able to birth out Beta, the same way that we saw in 1998's Godzilla was able to give birth to all those babies asexual. And somehow her mom was able to do that and give birth to her. And so if he was able to pretty much tweak the code, he could get rid of the locust altogether. And the Biosyn is trying to cover it up, trying to make nothing's getting out. There's a spy, and Dr. Grant and Ellie, they're kind of going on this undercover mission that uh, Ramsey, one of the characters played by Mamadou Athie, is in on with Dr. Malcolm, going to the lab, get this sample so they can release the story to the rest of the world. Like, say, look, Biosyn is not what you think they are, because it's portrayed like this safe haven for dinosaurs, this peaceful place, but it's not. I also love the fact that we see some of these animal sanctuaries that are housing these animals for their protection. And I mean, it's so real. And I really feel like that's why the critics they just aren't being fair, because they're not receiving that. I received all of that. And people in the theater, they're having a good time with it. They were enjoying it. And I'm like, this is it. Now, I was expecting to be terrified. Now, there's one scene where I actually nearly jumped out my seat. But I'll tell you, like, no, I didn't feel the fear because it's more of an action-paced movie. But you do get those scenes where it's like, oh, it's getting tense. Like, what are you gonna do there? But I wasn't necessarily fearful like the original, and it's okay. I didn't need this to be the first one. It stands on its own just fine. I love seeing. I've heard somebody say, "Man, there were too many dinosaurs." What do you mean there were too many? You have dinosaurs everywhere at this point. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? If you see a T Rex outside, you see a Quetzalcoatlus just floating around out or flying around outside, what are you gonna do about it? They're everywhere at this point. They're giant creatures that are past their time, all because man never has enough. Man never gets his fill. And it also harkens back to the line of what Dr. Malcolm said in the first one: life finds a way. Like, and that ties into Maisie's birth, that ties into Beta's birth, that ties into um a lot of the other things that happen in the movie. I liked DeWanda Wise's character. At first, I wasn't really feeling her. Thought she was kind of just doing a little too much. But then after a while, I'm like, all right, I dig you. I dig you. Like, all right, I like it. I like it. All right, you cool. You cool. Like I said, I like Mamadou Athie's character as Ramsey. I enjoyed who else was in this? Oh, I thought one of the black market smuggler, Santos, right? She was there's Rob, brother Stormbreaker. What's up, my friend? Yes, Leyenda. I'm here. Um but I liked I didn't really care for her because I didn't care for her because of how dirty she was. And the Atrociraptor scene, that chase scene that we see in the trailer with Owen Grady. Oh, snap. Hold on. I think I muted myself. Nope, we're good. Okay. But the Atrociraptor scene that we get with Owen on the motorcycle and Claire and what's her name, Kayla, then they're going through Malta. That scene was just crazy. I enjoyed all of that. Uh, just the leaping from building to building and the different cuts that they had going on, and it's all like fast paced. And what I really loved about it, even more so, there wasn't any music. It was quiet, and all you're hearing is just vehicles going, the Velociraptors coming after them, car crashes and everything. Like, it really honed in on that. Like, remove the music. We don't need that. It's already tense as is. It's tight. It's claustrophobic, and I loved every moment of it. I sing this movie's praises. I sing this movie's praises, and I mean, I'm gonna go see it again, because like I feel like I'm also not kind of I'm kind of going off the top of my head, but I want to give it a second watch so I could probably give you a slightly better take. It'll be a shorter video, I'm sure, but I just wanted to get that out there. Like, look, this is a movie that you all need to see, and I think that the general audience will enjoy it. I've seen people on Twitter talking about it. They loved it. They're like, well, what are these critics saying? There's no way that they think that this is a bad movie, and it's not. It does not deserve a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's stop taking Rotten Tomatoes seriously a long time ago. So go see it for yourself. Make your own opinions. Let's talk about it. Hit me up in the comments down below, okay? And listen, we have season 5 of Camp Cretaceous coming out on Netflix. If you are a Jurassic fan, check that show out. And I think that also will reinforce some things for you. This movie isn't just for Jurassic fans. This is for the general audiences because we all have something that we can take away from and get out of this. To say that this movie um I just feel like it's blasphemy to say that it's terrible, to say that it's the worst of the franchise. If I had to give it to him, I mean, there's Fallen Kingdom and there's Jurassic Park 3, and I prefer Jurassic Park 3. Honestly, as a mess of a movie that it had and as much problems that it had with production, I preferred that over Fallen Kingdom. uh but and I love, and the animatronics for some of the animals, so well done. I love that they were going practical with this as well, not doing so CGI heavy, and they move very, very well. I love it. But yeah, pay the critics no mind. Go form your own opinions. Go see this. It's kind of like when, back to the point, just real quick before I close out. Kind of like how with the MCU, people say, "Well, can you start at any point in time?" Well, Kevin Feige has said, and I've heard this on the John Campea show. Kevin Feige has said that every Marvel movie is supposed to be made as an entry point. This movie, yes, if you're a fan and you follow this franchise for a long time, then absolutely you're going to enjoy this. But even as a general audience member, will you go in and will you like this? I believe so. I think it's written for everyone, and the story is not that hard to follow. It's really not. And if anybody says that the story is convoluted, it's not. A plot, B plot, they woven together to become one by the end of the movie. And it's a job well done. Colin Trevorrow, thank you for this. Steven Spielberg, thank you for this. Universal, thank you for this. To all the actors, Bryce Dallas Howard, Chris Pratt, DeWanda Wise, uh, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, everyone, thank you for this movie. I enjoyed it. I will definitely be seeing it again come Monday. Yeah, we're gonna go see it again because, like I said, I want to kind of give it. I want to speak on it just a little bit more, but I'm kind of going off the top of my head, guys. It's been a long day. I've been running around all day, so I'm just kind of getting around to it. So it's not as fresh in my mind. But I just wanted to get this out there and let you all know that this is a damn good movie. It's a solid film. For me, I give it 4 out of 5 full moons. It's a good movie. It is good. It's not the first one, but like I said, I don't need it to be the first one. It did what it did for me. I hope it'll do what it does for you. So, guys, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment under the video. And have a great rest of your day. Later on, tune in with us on the Multiverse of Geekdom, where we will be on the weekly Geekdom. I will be there with Ben Rayner, and we'll be discussing, actually, in about 20 minutes. We'll be discussing a lot of the geek stuff during the week, and I'll even talk about some more of Jurassic World Dominion up there. But guys, thank you for being here. Love you all. Have a howling great rest of your evening. Enjoy yourselves. Bye bye. Oh, 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 there he is. All right. Perfect.